A stray dog stops traffic for days. Drivers honk, people yell, but it won't budge. Then a woman approaches. She peers into the gutter. Her scream pierces the air. What she sees will break your heart. Rain lashes the busy street. Horns blare. In the chaos, a scruffy dog stands guard. Its fur matted and dirty. Eyes fixed on the roadside drain. Passers-by mutter and glare. But the dog remains, unflinching, determined, as if the world depends on its vigil. The dog's ribs show through its rain-soaked coat, paws planted firmly on the asphalt. It faces down oncoming cars with unwavering resolve. Drivers swerve, cursing. Pedestrians give it a wide berth. But the dog's gaze never wavers from that unremarkable drain grate. Days pass, each one a test of endurance. The dog's legs tremble with exhaustion, but still it stands. Nose twitching, ears alert, it maintains its lonely watch. Some passers-by show concern. A young woman tries to lure it away with a sandwich. The dog sniffs once, then turns back to its post. Food holds no interest. Its mission is everything. As word spreads, crowds gather, theories fly. It's rabid. Some whisper, "No!" Others argue, "It's protecting something." Children peer from behind their parents' legs, eyes wide with curiosity and fear. The dog ignores them all. Local shopkeepers debate what to do. "It's bad for business," grumbles a cafe owner. "But it's not hurting anyone," counters the bookstore clerk. "Maybe it needs help." Compassion wars with convenience, a microcosm of larger societal struggles. A local news van arrives, eager for a human interest story. The reporter approaches, microphone extended. The dog's hackles rise. A low growl rumbles from its throat. The reporter retreats, but the cameras keep rolling. The world loves a mystery, and this one is being broadcast live. As night falls, the street empties, but the dog's vigil continues. Under the harsh glare of streetlights, its shadow stretches long and lonely. A stray cat slinks by, pausing to study the strange sentinel. For a moment, their eyes meet. An unspoken understanding passes between two creatures society often overlooks. Dawn breaks. The dog's head droops, exhaustion taking its toll. But each time sleep threatens to overtake it, the dog snaps back to alertness. Whatever drove it to the spot still holds power. A young boy approaches, clutching a brown paper bag. "Here," he says softly, placing a handful of kibble near the dog. Unlike yesterday, the dog eats, but it doesn't leave. Instead, it nudges some of the food towards the drain. The boy's eyes widen. "Mom," he calls. "I think there's something down there." His shout attracts attention. A small crowd gathers, murmuring. The dog watches them warily, muscles tense. A woman steps forward, her face lined with concern. "Let me see," she says, kneeling by the drain. The dog's tail gives a tentative wag. She peers into the darkness, gasps, "There's something moving down there." The dog barks as if to say, "Finally, someone understands." The crowd surges forward. The dog, overwhelmed, backs away, but it doesn't run. Its eyes dart between the drain and the humans, pleading. Someone calls the fire department. As the siren wails in the distance, the woman who looked in the drain tries to comfort the dog. "It's okay," she soothes. "Help is coming." The dog whines softly, pressing against her leg. Firefighters arrive, equipment clanging. The dog barks excitedly, running between them and the drain. "I think it's trying to show us something," one firefighter says. They pry open the grate, shining flashlights into the murky water below. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd. In the beam of light, tiny eyes gleam. Kittens, 3 of them, clinging to debris, mewing pitifully. The dog wasn't blocking traffic. It was raising the alarm. As the firefighters carefully lift each kitten to safety, the crowd cheers. The dog prances in circles, tail wagging furiously. It sniffs each kitten as they're brought up, gently licking their faces. The woman who first looked in the drain cradles the shivering kittens. "You're a hero," she whispers to the dog. It looks up at her, eyes shining with what can only be described as pride. News cameras capture the rescue. Reporters clamor for interviews. The fire chief speaks of bravery and compassion. Animal control officers arrive, not to capture, but to help. They check over the dog and kittens, marveling at the unlikely family. Subscribe now for more incredible animal stories that will warm your heart and restore your faith in the world. As the commotion settles, deeper questions emerge. How did a stray dog know to guard these kittens? What instinct drove it to stand vigil for days, braving hunger, exhaustion, and angry drivers? A local veterinarian offers her perspective. "Animals are far more complex than we often give them credit for," she explains. This dog displayed empathy, problem-solving skills, and incredible determination. It's a reminder that the capacity for compassion exists throughout the animal kingdom. The story spreads like wildfire. Social media explodes with photos and videos of the heroic stray. #DrainDogHero trends worldwide. People share their own stories of animal bravery and unlikely animal friendships. Animal behaviorists weigh in, fascinated by the dog's actions. This challenges our understanding of interspecies relationships. One expert comments, "It shows that the drive to protect isn't limited to one's own kind." Philosophers and ethicists join the discussion. What does this say about the nature of altruism? They ask. If a stray dog can show such selflessness, what does that mean for human morality? The incident becomes a catalyst for local change. The city council meets to discuss improved drainage systems and programs for stray animals. Donations pour into the local shelter. Volunteers sign up in droves to help with rescue efforts. Meanwhile, the dog and kittens become local celebrities. The shelter is flooded with adoption offers. But there's a twist. Most people want to adopt them together, unwilling to separate this unusual family. The woman who first spotted the kittens visits daily. She sits with the dog, now clean and healthy, watching it play gently with its feline charges. "You know," she says to a shelter worker, "I never considered myself a dog person before. But this changes everything." Her words resonate with many. The story challenges preconceptions about strays, about the capabilities of animals, about the very nature of family. It forces people to reconsider their relationships with the creatures that share our world. Schools use the story as a teaching tool. Children write essays about kindness and bravery. They draw pictures of the heroic dog standing guard. Teachers use it to spark discussions about responsibility, empathy, and thinking beyond oneself. Animal rescue organizations seize the moment. They launch campaigns highlighting the intelligence and emotional depth of strays. Every animal deserves a chance, their posters proclaim, featuring the image of protective dog. The story resonates differently across cultures. In some countries, it reignites debates about animal welfare laws. In others, it's seen as a spiritual message about the interconnectedness of all living things. Scientists, too, find the story compelling. Researchers in animal cognition point to it as evidence of complex reasoning in dogs. This wasn't just instinct, one scientist argues. This dog assessed a situation, recognized a problem, and found a solution. It's a remarkable display of intelligence. Weeks pass. The kittens grow stronger. The dog, once a lonely stray, now wags its tail at every visitor. Its eyes, once wary, shine with contentment. It's a living testament to the transformative power of compassion. As the adoption day approaches, the shelter decides to let the dog choose. They bring in approved families, watching carefully. The dog sniffs each one, tail wagging politely. But when the woman who first looked in the drain enters, its reaction is unmistakable. It races to her, showering her with affection. "I think we have a match," the shelter worker says, smiling. The woman kneels, hugging the dog. "What do you say?" she asks. "Want to come home with me?" Kittens and all. The dog's joyful bark needs no translation. As they prepare to leave the shelter, cameras flash. This final chapter of the story makes headlines too. Drained dog hero finds forever home, the articles proclaim. But it's more than just a happy ending. It's a new beginning. In their new home, the unlikely family settles in. The dog watches over its adopted kittens with the same devotion it showed by the drain. The woman marvels at the bond between them, at how her life has been enriched by this unexpected turn of events. "You know," she tells a friend, "I set out to rescue them. But in a way, they rescued me too. They've shown me what it means to care unconditionally, to be brave in the face of adversity." Her words strike a chord with many. In a world often divided, this story of cross-species compassion unites. It reminds people of the good that can happen when we open our hearts, when we stop to help, when we recognize the worth in every living being. Like and share to spread this heartwarming story. Together, we can inspire more acts of kindness in the world. The tale of the drained dog hero becomes more than just a viral story. It becomes a touchstone, a reference point for compassion. When faced with ethical dilemmas, people find themselves asking, what would the drained dog do? Local artists create murals depicting the dog's vigil. Writers pen children's books about unlikely animal friendships. A documentary filmmaker starts a project exploring animal empathy, inspired by this remarkable act of cross-species kindness. The woman who adopted the dog and kittens becomes an advocate for animal welfare. She speaks at schools and community events, sharing her story and the lessons she's learned. It's not just about this one brave dog, she tells her audiences. It's about recognizing the capacity for goodness in all creatures and in ourselves. Her adopted dog, once an overlooked stray, now wears a vest identifying it as a therapy animal. They visit hospitals and nursing homes, bringing comfort and joy. The kittens, now cats, sometimes come along too, a living reminder of the power of unexpected connections. As months pass, the story's impact ripples outward. Other communities report increases in animal adoptions. People share stories of taking a second look at the strays in their neighborhoods, of finding ways to help. The drained dog's legacy lives on in countless small acts of kindness. Academics study the phenomenon, exploring why this particular story resonated so deeply. It taps into universal themes. One sociologist explains, bravery, loyalty, the triumph of the underdog or underdog in this case. But it also challenges us to expand our circle of compassion. Environmental groups use the story to highlight the interconnectedness of ecosystems. If a dog can care for kittens, they argue, surely we humans can learn to better coexist with the natural world. On the anniversary of the rescue, the city holds a celebration. The dog and its adopted family are guests of honor. The mayor unveils a small statue by the now famous drain, a bronze dog, standing watch. The plaque reads, "Compassion knows no bounds." As the crowd cheers, the woman who gave this former stray a home reflects on the journey. "It's amazing," she says, scratching her dog's ears. "This dog had nothing, no home, no family. But it gave everything to save those kittens. It reminds me that no matter who we are or what we have, we all have the capacity to make a difference." Her words resonate with the gathered crowd. In that moment, they're not just celebrating one dog's bravery. They're celebrating the potential for goodness that exists in all of us, human and animal alike. The story of the drained dog hero becomes a modern-day fable, passed down through generations. It's a reminder that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, that family isn't defined by species, and that sometimes the greatest acts of love come from the most unexpected places. As twilight falls on the celebration, the woman and her unusual family head home. The dog trots happily beside her, the picture of contentment. Gone is the desperate stray, the lonely sentinel. In its place is a beloved pet, a local hero, a symbol of hope. Back home, as the dog settles in its bed, surrounded by its feline family, The woman reflects on the twist of fate that brought them together. "You've taught me so much," she whispers, giving the dog a final pat for the night. About loyalty, about perseverance, about seeing the worth in every living thing. The dog looks up at her, eyes full of trust and affection. In that gaze is a world of understanding, a bond that transcends words. It's a look that says, "I'd do it all again. For them, for you, for any creature in need." As she turns out the light, the woman makes a silent promise to honor this dog's legacy by living with the same open-hearted compassion, the same willingness to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. It's a promise echoed in hearts around the world, inspired by one stray dog's unwavering vigil. In the quiet of the night, as the dog drifts off to sleep, its gentle snores mingle with the purrs of its adopted kittens. It's a song of contentment, of family, of love that knows no boundaries. A reminder that sometimes the most profound changes start with the simplest acts of kindness. And so, the legend of the drained dog Hero lives on, not just in statues or news stories, but in the countless lives it touched and changed. In every stray given a second chance, in every hand extended to help, in every heart opened by compassion. It's a story that continues to inspire, to challenge, to change the world one act of kindness at a time, a testament to the enduring power of love, loyalty, and the unbreakable bonds that can form between all living creatures. As dawn breaks on a new day, the woman wakes to find her dog already alert, ready for their morning walk. Together, they step out into a world forever changed by one brave stray's actions. A world more aware, more compassionate, more alive to the possibilities of connection and kindness. And as they walk down the street, neighbors wave and smile. Children point excitedly. "Look," they say, "it's the Hero dog." The dog, once shunned and overlooked, now walks with pride. A living reminder that every life has value, that every creature deserves compassion. The woman smiles, watching her companion greet each person and animal they pass with the same gentle kindness it showed those kittens in the drain. She realizes that the real miracle isn't just what happened on that rainy day by the roadside. It's what continues to happen every day as the ripples of that one act of bravery spread outward, touching life after life. "Come on, Hero," she says softly as they turn towards home. "Let's see what other wonders this day might bring." The dog looks up at her, tail wagging, eyes bright with trust and joy. Together, they walk on, into a future made brighter by the light of compassion. A light first kindled by one brave dog's unwavering vigil on a rain-soaked street, now burning in hearts around the world. And